Hi everyone, my name is Abhiraj Garikapati. Welcome to my YouTube channel Amazing Abhi. At his phone while visualizing the mysterious glowing symbols, noting that he still hasn't received any new information about them, he tells a now-awake Shenzhen Han that he plans to go to the research institute himself to look for the ancient item Liu Chuanwu mentioned. Shenzhen Han eagerly volunteers to go with him. Lin Zichen then calls Liu Chuanwu. He asks for permission to visit the institute with Shenzhen Han and inquires if Liu Chuanwu has found the ancient item yet. On the other end of the line, an exhausted Liu Chuanwu sits on a bed covered in lipstick marks alongside sleeping women. He tells Lin Zichen that the item might be in the storage room and instructs him to look for a pearl and shell bracelet with his senior sister. Suddenly his female companions wake up and playfully pull him back down, demanding he continue partying. A panicked Liu Chuanwu hastily tells Lin Zichen he is busy and hangs up. Listening to the abrupt end of the call, Lin Zichen and Shenzhen Han sweat drop, realizing that Liu Chuanwu's wild night is surprisingly still ongoing. Later, the pair arrives outside the Pure Human Research Institute. Shenzhen Han excitedly remarks that she has always wanted to visit, but Lin Zichen dryly warns her not to set her expectations too high. Stepping inside the Pure Human Research Institute, Lin Zichen and Shenzhen Han are met with a completely trashed and cluttered workspace filled with empty bottles, scattered equipment, and junk. They remark that the messy environment feels more like an abandoned ruin than a school facility. Shenzhen Han kindly offers to come back and help clean the place up when she has free time. Lin Zichen quickly advises against it, joking that cleaning would destroy the institute's unique character. Entering the lounge area, they are surprised to find Yu Yan in the middle of a complex yoga stretch on a mat. Noticing their arrival, Yu Yan cheerfully greets them without breaking her athletic pose. Yu Yan immediately jumps up to welcome them, enthusiastically trapping a flustered Shenzhen Han in a busty bear hug, while throwing her other arm around Lin Zichen. She playfully teases them about being a perfect couple, prompting an awkward Lin Zichen to ask her to stop teasing his embarrassed girlfriend. Ignoring his request, Yu Yan continues to affectionately smother Shenzhen Han, declaring they need to get properly acquainted since it is their first meeting and complimenting how much prettier she is in person. Crossing his arms, Lin Zichen firmly redirects the conversation, reminding Yu Yan that they are there on serious business. Standing amidst the severely cluttered storage room, Lin Zichen asks Yu Yan if she recalls seeing the pearl and shell bracelet that Liu Chuanwu mentioned. Yu Yan shakes her head, admitting that in her 10 years at the institute, she has never seen such an item, leading Shenzhen Han to conclude they will have to search the massive pile of junk manually. However, Yu Yan winks confidently and pats her chest. She assures them that because she is so familiar with the storage room's chaotic layout, she can easily eliminate most areas from their search and guarantee they will find it quickly. 3 hours later, an exhausted Yu Yan collapses onto the floor among the scattered boxes. She questions if the bracelet even exists, jokingly wondering if director Liu Chuanwu's age is catching up to him and he simply misremembered. Holding a box full of miscellaneous junk, a tired Lin Zichen rubs his forehead in sighs, concluding that they might just have to give up and wait for the director to return so they can ask him directly. Suddenly, Shenzhen Han tugs on Lin Zichen's sleeve to get his attention. She points toward a large, seemingly abandoned fish tank across the room and suggests that the item might be buried in the dirt inside it. The trio gathers around the massive tank filled with dark gravel. When Lin Zichen asks why she thinks the bracelet is in there, Shenzhen can admit she cannot logically explain it. She just suddenly noticed the tank and had a strong, inexplicable gut feeling about it. Armed with a shovel and eager, Yu Yan declares that they should stop talking and start digging. To find out, not long after, the three of them stare in absolute shock at what they uncover. Yu Yan is amazed that Shenzhen Han's random intuition was perfectly correct, as they successfully unearth a beautiful bracelet made of pearls and colorful shells from the gravel. Holding the newly discovered bracelet, Lin Zichen closely examines the markings carved into the shells. He realizes that the patterns perfectly match the style of the mysterious glowing water symbols Shenzhen Han had produced. A tired and disheveled Liu Chuanwu finally arrives at the institute and sees that they have already found the item. Lin Zichen immediately questions him about the bracelet's origin. Sweating slightly, Liu Chuanwu explains that he has to go back 20 years to a deep-sea expedition to answer that. He recounts that 2 decades ago, while exploring the ocean floor near Double Sun Bay in Shanghai City, he accidentally stumbled upon an entrance to ancient sunken ruins. He explains that upon entering a cave within the ruins, he found a single, massive mural carved into the stone, depicting a central goddess-like figure emerging from a shell, surrounded by dragons and mermaids. He concludes his story by revealing that he discovered the pearl and shell bracelet resting on a stone right next to that very mural. Yu Yan and Lin Zichen stare at a static-filled laptop screen. Yu Yan asks Liu Chuanwu if that is all the footage, and why he didn't record the rest of his discovery. Closing the laptop, Liu Chuanwu explains that his equipment inexplicably malfunctioned. Over an hour of subsequent footage failed to record, a fact he only discovered after returning home. He adds that when he dove back down the next day to re-record, the cave entrance and even the surrounding coral reef had completely disappeared, making the encounter feel like a surreal dream. Lin Zichen questions how something so bizarre could happen. Beside him, Shen Han remains completely silent, her attention entirely captivated by the bracelet. Seeing her interest, Lin Zichen hands the bracelet to Shen Han, telling her to take a closer look as she cradles the bracelet in her hands. It suddenly emits a bright, magical glow. Staring at it, Shen Han becomes entranced, overwhelmed by an intense, uncharacteristic urge to claim the beautiful object for herself. She suddenly snaps out of her daze, shaking her head. She is deeply unsettled by her own strange, possessive thoughts, wondering why she feels such a strong, inexplicable connection to the bracelet. Noticing Shen Han's fascination, Liu Chuanwu generously offers to let her keep the bracelet, mentioning that it was just sitting around as forgotten clutter anyway. Surprised by the offer, she asks if he is truly okay with giving it away. Shen Han gratefully thanks the director for the gift. Just then, Lin Zichen is interrupted by a sudden phone call and checks his screen, wondering who was contacting him. Answering the call, Lin Zichen informs the person on the line that he is currently at the Pure Human Research Institute. He listens quietly to the caller before calmly acknowledging the information. Lowering his phone, Lin Zichen smiles knowingly to himself. He internally notes that the major opportunity or event he had been anticipating has finally arrived. Liu Chuanwu points at Lin Zichen's phone, asking who just called him. Yu Yan also notices his change in mood, pointing out that his expression has suddenly turned. Before we move ahead, please take a second to like on this video. A like tells me that you enjoyed this topic. Your support helps Amazing Apai grow naturally. Dead serious? Lin Zichen calmly reveals that the call was from Principal Yuan. He drops a massive bombshell. The deputy governor of the Origin Land stronghold is coming to the institute to meet him, and he'll be there in about half an hour. Hearing this, Liu Chuanwu and Yu Yan are completely dumbfounded. Their faces turning pale with shock. They exclaim in disbelief. After all, the deputy governor is a legendary level powerhouse who stands at the very peak of Earth's combat strength, second only to one person. Unfazed by their extreme reactions, Lin Zichen tells director Liu Chuanwu to quickly gather and summarize all of their research on the pure human path. This way, they can present a solid report to the deputy governor when he gets there. Overcome with emotion, both Liu Chuanwu and Yu Yan begin to cry tears of joy. Yu Yan expresses her deep gratitude, saying that having a genius like Lin Zichen join them is a huge blessing. It has finally brought the attention of a major figure to their overlooked pure human research. Liu Chuanwu agrees, feeling that their years of hard work are finally paying off. Filled with a sudden burst of energy, Liu Chuanwu calls out to Yu Yan, and the two researchers sprint down the hallway to organize their years of data before the VIP arrives. A short time later, Yu Yan, Liu Chuanwu, Lin Zichen, and Shen Qinghan stand together in the courtyard outside the institute. They look up to the sky as Liu Chuanwu announces that their guests are finally here. A massive military transport aircraft hovers overhead, kicking up dust. 3 figures step out of it. Principal Mo Dongji escorts a distinguished white-haired man wearing a heavy coat with a fur collar. This is the Quishu State Deputy Governor, Yi Yansheng. Beside him is his military aide, Secretary Zhang. Deputy Governor Yi Yansheng addresses the group with a stern look. He tells them he is highly interested in their research on the pure human path, and asks everyone to head inside to discuss it further. Moving to a comfortable lounge, Deputy Governor Yi Yongxing takes a seat on a sofa. A highly respectful Liu Chuanwu carefully hands over a folder, presenting the Institute's research results on the pure human path for him to review. Skimming through the documents, Deputy Governor Yi Yongxing mentions that he briefly followed the pure human path when it first came out. However, he eventually wrote it off as a dead end after seeing all the geniuses who chose that route fade into mediocrity. He admits he's surprised that even after all these years, there are still people stubbornly researching this specific path, handing the documents back to Secretary Zhang. Looking at Lin Zichun, Liu Chuanwu, and Yu Yan, Yi Yongxing admits they have actually produced real results. He brings up Lin Zichun's situation, pointing out that despite his incredible performance in the military zone and the huge bounty the plant god cult put on him, his official, biological level is only recorded as ordinary tier Roman 9. Staring right at Lin Zichun, the deputy governor reveals his surprise that the young man actually has the physical vitality and spiritual strength of an advanced tier Roman 2 expert. Realizing his secret is exposed, Lin Zichun notes to himself that his natural camouflage ability is completely useless against someone at Yi Yongxing's level. Liu Chuanwu and Yu Yan look at Lin Zichun in absolute shock, blown away to hear that his true strength is already at advanced tier Roman 2. Sweating nervously, Lin Zichun realizes he overestimated his camouflage skills and severely underestimated the senses of a legendary level powerhouse. Yi Yongxing firmly tells Lin Zichun to stop hiding his abilities. From now on, he wants the young man to show his maximum strength as a pure human and challenge the top geniuses of the genetic fusion and mechanical paths. He wants to witness the true upper limit of the pure human potential. Lin Zichun respectfully explains his hesitation. He says he only hid his true power because he was worried that standing out too much would attract endless attacks from cultists and put his family in danger. Yi Yongxing assures him that since he is ordering him to go all out, he will naturally guarantee the absolute safety of Lin Zichun and his family. Having secured the exact promise he wanted, Lin Zichun agrees to the deputy governor's terms, promising to show him the peak of a pure human's capabilities. Satisfied with the agreement, Yi Yongxing leans back and tells Secretary Zhang to get Lin Zichun's contact info and send him a specific list. Secretary Zhang quickly complies, pulling up the data on his tablet. Lin Zichun checks his phone and gets a file titled Rare Level Genius List, wondering what it is. Yi Yongxing explains that it is a roster of the country's absolute top-tier young talents, strictly limited to those under 30. Scanning the document, Lin Zichun sees the names, ages, and crazy combat achievements of various prodigies, including a 19-year-old named Liu Kenshui. The deputy governor adds that everyone on this list is a once-in-a-century talent with the potential to reach the legendary level. They are Earth's main fighting force against the Origin Land. Recognizing the name Liu Kenshui, Lin Zichun wonders if she is Shenzhen Shenghan's senior martial sister. Yi Yongxing continues, noting that almost all of these geniuses were sent to the Origin Land for intense elite training before they even reached school age. This places them in a completely different league compared to someone like Lin Zichun, who grew up in the normal education system. Lin Zichun envisions an armored man lifting a massive metal block alongside a mechanical genius girl in white armor. Prompted by this display, he asks Deputy Governor Yi Yongxing how the top prodigies he already knows compared to the elites on the newly provided list. Taking a calm sip of his tea, Yi Yongxing bluntly replies that there is no comparison as they exist on entirely different levels. He explains that the individuals Lin Zichun currently considers geniuses are nothing more than slightly larger ants when measured against the powerhouses of the Origin Land. Yi Yongxing elaborates that he shared the list specifically to teach Lin Zichun that there is always someone stronger, advising the young man never to limit his perspective to Earth. Lin Zichun listens with intense focus, absorbing the gravity of his words. The deputy governor acknowledges that Lin Zichun's talent is currently impressive, but he warns that his long-term success will rely entirely on the consistency of his performance from this point forward. Standing up dramatically with his arms outstretched, Yi Yongxing motivates Lin Zichun by revealing that earning a spot on the elite list will grant him access to incredible evolutionary resources potent enough to forcibly evolve an ordinary level being into a rare level powerhouse. Filled with determination, Lin Zichen confidently assures the deputy governor that he will work hard to meet his expectations. Pleased with this resolve, Yi Yonsheng places a reassuring hand on Lin Zichen's shoulder, stating that he eagerly anticipates the young man's future progress. The deputy governor then shifts his gaze toward the purple-haired girl nearby, remarking that there is something else he finds highly curious about Shenzhen Han. Yi Yonsheng points out a bizarre contradiction in her physiology. Her body contains exotic beast genes, yet she is not fused with them. Instead, she is actively suppressing them while practicing blood-quenching techniques to pursue the path of a pure-blooded human. Answering the deputy governor's curiosity, Lin Zichen explains that despite Shenzhen Han's outstanding talent, which would easily place her near the top of the elite list, she remains timid due to the lasting psychological trauma of childhood bullying. Understanding her situation, Yi Yonsheng expresses disappointment regarding her current level. He notes that although she has successfully undergone body quenching, her power remains at ordinary tier VI, which he finds unsatisfactory given her potential. Nevertheless, he encourages her to work hard and strive for a spot on the elite list. Alongside Lin Zichen, Lu Chunwu and Yu Yan are left in absolute shock, blown away by the revelation that Shenzhen Han is actively walking the incredibly difficult path of a pure-blooded human and has already achieved body quenching. Principal Ma Dongji then steps forward, respectfully volunteering to escort the deputy governor out. Yi Yonsheng, accompanied by Ma Dongji and Secretary Zhang, turns and walks down the hallway to make his departure. After the deputy governor leaves the facility, Lin Zichen, Shenzhen Han, Ma Dongji, Liu Chuanwu and Yu Yan gather in the lounge. Taking advantage of the private setting, Lin Zichen and Shenzhen Han finally come clean, disclosing the hidden aspects of their true strength to the rest of the group. Thrilled by this confirmation, Liu Chuanwu enthusiastically approaches Shenzhen Han. Rubbing his hands together, he suggests that since she is already walking the pure-blooded human path, she should officially join their heavenly human pavilion. Before Shenzhen Han can process the offer, a terrifying dark aura materializes behind Liu Chuanwu. He breaks into a cold sweat as Ma Dongji looms over him, glaring with glowing red eyes and demanding to know why he is attempting to recruit her student. Attempting to justify the invitation, Liu Chuanwu argues that Shenzhen Han's chosen path makes her a perfect fit for their organization. Ma Dongji sharply reminds him that Shenzhen Han is her personal disciple, to which Liu Chuanwu retorts, questioning if joining the pavilion would prevent her from remaining a student. When Ma Dongji insists he should have asked for permission first, a stubborn Liu Chuanwu brazenly asks her right then and there. Angered by his audacity, Ma Dongji forcefully grabs Liu Chuanwu by the collar and drags the panicked director out of the room, ignoring his pleas that he does not hit women. Watching the display, Yu Yan, Lin Zichen, and Shenzhen Han's sweat drop, with Yu Yan marveling at how a director dares act so arrogantly in front of a powerful principal. Shortly after, a heavily bruised and battered Liu Chuanwu returns to the room. Despite his injuries, he enthusiastically takes Shenzhen Han's hands, officially welcoming her to the heavenly human pavilion. Yu Yan is shocked that he survived and secured Ma Dongji's permission, but Liu Chuanwu dismissively tells her that children should not concern themselves with adults. Before we move ahead, please take a second to share on this video. Sharing helps this video reach friends who may also enjoy anime, gaming, travel, cricket, chess, career basics, or personal stories. Your support helps Amazing Up grow naturally. Matters. In reality, Ma Dongji only agreed to let Shenzhen Han join on one condition. Liu Chuanwu must attend a formal dinner at the Yuan family residence. Although Liu Chuanwu agreed to the deal to save his own skin, he internally dreads that the dinner will be the deadly trap. Shifting the topic to more pressing matters, Lin Zichen asks Liu Chuanwu about the powerful backer he had promised to find. He is curious about her strength and how she compares to a legendary powerhouse like Deputy Governor Yi Yonsheng. Sweating nervously, Liu Chuanwu awkwardly admits that he has no idea. Annoyed by this unreliable answer, Lin Zichen questions if the director is playing a joke on him. A frantic Liu Chuanwu waves his hands, explaining that this mysterious backer has been lying dormant inside a sealed ancient coffin, so he has never seen her capabilities. Nevertheless, he assures Lin Zichen that since she is the true pavilion master, her strength cannot be weak. This revelation leaves Lin Zichen confused, as he previously assumed Liu Chuanwu was the head of the organization. Liu Chuanwu awkwardly clarifies that he is merely an archaeologist who excavated the real pavilion master from ancient ruins, prompting Lin Zichen to demand a proper explanation. Liu Chuanwu explains that the true pavilion master is a supreme expert from a long-forgotten era and a legendary philanthropist. He reveals that her name is Kai King Mo, and she is famously known by the title of the Great Love Immortal Master. Liu Chuanwu explains that the blood-quenching technique they currently practice was actually discovered in the ancient ruins. He notes that this method is part of an evolutionary path originating from a long-forgotten era. He elaborates that, wherever such profound techniques exist, a dedicated sect naturally forms to practice them. In this case, it was the Heavenly Human Pavilion, a powerful faction from that ancient era led by a woman named Kai King Mo. Unlike other supreme beings of the so-called Age of Gods who viewed mortals as mere insects, Pavilion Master Kai King Mo treated them as her own kin. Liu recounts her legendary deeds, describing how she would provide food to starving villages, stop disastrous floods, and actively intervene to protect humanity whenever other gods tried to oppress them. Driven by a deep desire to help weak mortals step onto the path of immortality, she researched and created the blood-quenching technique. This method allowed even the most ordinary beings to eventually evolve into gods. However, Liu's tone turns somber as he reveals a tragic twist to the tale. When he finally excavated the ancient ruins, he found the pavilion master in an incredibly weak state. She was lying unconscious inside an ancient coffin, and barely had enough time to teach him the fundamentals of the blood-quenching method before falling back into a deep sleep. Looking excited once more, Liu shares the most crucial part of the story with Lin's teaching. Before she fell asleep, she told him that if someone could evolve into a high-level being using the pure-blooded human path, they would be able to unseal and awaken her by transferring their vitality and blood power into her body. A heavy silence falls over Lin's itching as he processes the weight of this responsibility. He listens quietly as Liu declares that he is currently the most promising candidate to reach the necessary level and awaken the pavilion master. Voicing his darker concerns, a nervous Lin wonders what might happen if this ancient being decides to drain all of his vitality upon waking up. Laughing loudly, Liu reassures him that the pavilion master is famous for her kindness and would never do such a thing. He even promises to bring several top-tier experts along for protection when the time comes to unseal her just to ease Lin's worries. Ignoring Lin's lingering doubts, an enthusiastic Liu pulls out his phone. He tells the speechless student not to overthink it and immediately sends over all the data and files regarding the ancient bronze coffin and the ruins, so that Lin can study them in depth. As the winter break nears its end, Lin's itching and Shen Qinghan experience a massive boost in their training efficiency. This rapid progress is entirely due to the generous support of Principal Mo Dongji and Director Liu, who provide an abundance of rare treasures, ginseng, and medicinal wines to fuel the student's progress. Exhausted from his intense training, Lin reflects on his incredible gains. He has successfully achieved his fourth major body-quenching completion. Although his official biological level is still stuck at ordinary tier Roman 9, his actual vitality and blood strength have skyrocketed, now rivaling the power of an advanced tier Roman 3 expert. His thoughts are happily interrupted when Shen Qinghan gives him a tight hug. She joyfully announces that she has also made a breakthrough, successfully completing her second body quenching and evolving to ordinary tier Roman 8, just in time for the new school term. Following their successful training sessions, Lin accompanies Shen Qinghan to Principal Mo's facility to take the next crucial step in her evolutionary path. Inside the medical room, Shen Qinghan lies nervously on an examination bed while Principal Mo prepares a specialized syringe. The principal explains that the syringe contains an extremely precious gene reagent derived from a creature known as a water butterfly. She firmly instructs Shen to do her absolute best to control the new genetic power once it enters her system. Watching the procedure closely, Lin recalls from his studies that water butterflies are rare aquatic beasts. They are famous for possessing spiritual strength far beyond other creatures of their tier, a unique trait that grants them the ability to unleash powerful illusion-based attacks. After finishing the procedure, Principal Mo informs Shen Qinghan that the injection is complete. She advises her student to speak up immediately if she experiences any discomfort rather than suffering in silence, which Shen dutifully agrees to. Using her spiritual power, Mo carefully examines the gene integration process within her student's body. She happily announces that the procedure is a complete success, adding that once Shen gets used to controlling the water butterfly's genetic power, she will even be able to use illusion-based attacks herself. Later, as Shen Qinghen gets up to stretch, Lin's decision takes the opportunity to ask Principal Mo about her senior disciple who currently resides in the origin land, admitting his intense curiosity about her. Taking a calm sip of her drink, Mo asks Lin if this sudden interest was sparked by seeing the girl's impressive combat records on the elite prodigy list. Lin confirms that it was indeed the reason. Mo then shares the backstory, revealing that she had actually found the girl 11 years ago on a snowy mountain in the origin land. She explains that the girl was only 8 years old at the time, completely alone and on the verge of death. Taking pity on the child, Mo saved her life and decided to raise her as her own disciple. She notes that when her time in the origin land ended and she had to return to Earth, she made sure to safely settle the girl in one of the origin land's bases. She allowed her apprentice to live there permanently and always made sure to visit her from time to time. Regarding the girl's true origins and family background, Mo admits that it remains a complete mystery. Not even the girl herself remembers her past due to severe amnesia. Intrigued by this revelation, Lin asks the principal if this senior disciple is actually an alien mutant. Looking serious, Mo confirms that the girl is indeed a mutant. She clarifies that because of this, it is absolutely impossible for the disciple to be someone Lin might have known from his childhood. She then explains the harsh reality of their world. The military would never allow a mutant to cross over and enter Earth under any circumstances. Lin's itch and mulls over the strange coincidences surrounding Modongji's senior disciple, Luo Kenshu, and his childhood Bai Shui. It's suspicious that Luo Kenshu appeared just as Bai Shui vanished and their matching ages lead him to wonder if there's a secret way to travel between the origin land and Earth. His thoughts are interrupted by Shen Qinghen, dressed casually, who announces that she's packed and ready to go. Lin's itch and Shen Qinghen approach Principal Modongji and respectfully inform her of their departure. Meanwhile, in another part of the school, Lai Mo Yu and Luo Yan Jian are sent flying from a doorway, having been soundly beaten. A tough-looking student named Guo Haidong, the deputy head of the Student Council's External Liaison Department, guards the entrance to a training facility. He warns that any student who dares to enter without the council's permission will face the consequences. From the doorway, Guo Haidong looks down on the fallen students, telling them their defeat is a warning to anyone else who might challenge the council's authority. Later, a bruised Lai Mo Yuan, Luo Yang Jian find Lin's itch and Shen Qinghen, desperately pleading with Lin's itch and to stand up for the new students. They explain that a group of senior students, led by Guo Haidong, has taken over the second-floor training room and is beating any new students who try to use it. To motivate him, Lai Mo Yu promises to transfer 10 million to Lin's Iken's account if he can make their bully spit blood. The offer of money immediately piques Lin's Iken's interest. He assures the battered Lai Mo Yu that he will deliver a satisfactory result and provides his bank account number, which Lai Mo Yu promptly agrees to use. With Lin's Iken backing them, Lai Mo Yu and Luo. Before we move ahead, please take a second to like on this video. A like tells me that you enjoyed this topic. Your support helps Amazing Apai grow naturally. Young Jian confidently return to the training room. They boldly call for Guo Haidong to come out, announcing they have returned to give him a thrashing. Guo Haidong looks down at the group from inside the training room. He scoffs, remarking that he thought they had found someone formidable, but sees they have only brought the new student king of their class. Using his danger perception ability, Lin's Iken analyzes their opponent. He determines that Guo Haidong is at the peak of ordinary rank 8 and has fused the genes of a Ki blood type demon giant ape and a spiritual type magic shadow bat. Deciding this is a good opportunity for some practice, Lin's Iken tells Shen King Huan he will let her handle the fight. He cheekily reminds her to make their opponent spit blood, his mind on the 10 million prize. Shen King Huan calmly agrees. Guo Haidong takes offense when Shen King Huan steps forward. He angrily demands to know if they are looking down on him by sending a woman to fight. Not wanting to dirty his own hands, Guo Haidong orders a purple-haired woman from his group to take care of her. The woman confidently accepts. The woman declares that she will teach her junior a lesson in respecting her seniors. Before the senior can even react, Shen Qinghuan lands a powerful kick that sends her flying across the room. The crowd of onlookers is stunned by the sudden turn of events. They murmur in disbelief, wondering how a new student could be strong enough to defeat a senior with a single kick. Having dealt with the lackey, Shen Qinghuan turns her cold gaze toward a shocked Guo Haidong and informs him that it's his turn. Realizing he is facing a real threat, Guo Haidong activates his genes, transforming into a massive muscular rat-like beast. He condescendingly admits to underestimating Shen Qinghuan, but boasts that a kick like hers couldn't hurt him in the slightest. To test her newfound abilities, Shen Qinghuan leaps into the air and unleashes her water butterfly illusion technique. A swarm of glowing blue butterflies flutters toward her massive opponent. As they envelop him, Guo Haidong is shocked to discover the young girl can manipulate his blood heat and launch powerful spiritual attacks. Following her magical assault, Shen Qinghuan drops down with a fierce high kick, but Guo Haidong manages to block the heavy strike with his monstrous arm. Bouncing back from the impact, Shen Qinghuan quickly realizes his physical defense is incredible. His body and biological rank are simply stronger than hers. Knowing that physical strikes alone won't be enough, she decides to pour all her energy into her blood cheat and spiritual attacks. The swarm of blue butterflies multiplies, relentlessly attacking Guo Haidong. He screams in agony, clutching his head as the mental assault overwhelms him, causing the nearby students to watch in panic. With her opponent's defenses crippled by the spiritual attack, Shen Qinghuan seizes the opportunity, leaping forward to deliver a devastating kick to the back of his head. The massive blow knocks him out cold, causing him to revert to his human form as he crashes face first onto the floor, utterly defeated. Wiping sweat from her brow, and exhausted, but proud Shen Qinghuan realizes she can now defeat higher-level enemies just like her partner. Meanwhile, the crowd murmurs in disbelief that a freshman has just taken down the student council's deputy head so easily. Lin's itch and then steps confidently to her side, grabbing her hand and raising it in victory. He makes a bold declaration to the stunned crowd. From now on, they will represent the pure-blooded humans and are issuing an open challenge to the entire student council. After his shocking announcement, Lin's itch and kneels to check on Shen Qinghuan. The crowd erupts, whispering that he must be insane to challenge the student council, an organization filled with high-level experts. As if in response to the crowd's fears, three imposing figures step forward. The one in the lead, a tall woman with white hair and horns, is immediately recognized as a vice president of the student council. She looks directly at Shen Qinghuan and accepts the challenge, offering to exchange a few moves. The horned vice president doesn't hesitate, activating her genetic abilities and sprouting massive feathered wings from her back. Unfazed, Shen Qinghuan charges straight toward her new opponent, ready to strike. However, the vice president immediately reveals the overwhelming gap in their power, launching a high-speed barrage of blade-like feathers from her massive wings that rain down like arrows. The sheer speed and density of the attack catches Shen Qinghuan completely by surprise. The razor-sharp feathers tear through her defenses, piercing her body and leaving deep, bleeding wounds while she is still in midair. Overwhelmed by the brutal assault, the heavily injured Shen Qinghuan crashes hard onto the floor, defeated in an instant. A look of deep concern on his face, Lin Zichen immediately rushes to her side. Lin Zichen cradles the bleeding Shen Qinghuan in his arms, quickly giving her a medicinal pill for her serious wounds. She quietly notes what a shame it is to be defeated so quickly, acknowledging the terrifying strength of the top senior students. As she sits up amidst the scattered feathers, Lin Zichen comforts her, saying there is no shame in losing and that she has already performed far better than he ever expected. He then gently scoops her into his arms, promising that he will handle the rest of the fight. Stepping forward to take her place, Lin Zichen faces the Wing Vice President, Tan Wanyu. She casually remarks that she has heard about his actions in the military zone and is curious to see what makes him so special to the plant god cult. Eager to test his strength for herself, Tan Wanyu unleashes another fierce barrage of razor-sharp feathers, sending them hurtling straight toward him. But Lin Zichen is completely unfazed. He simply stands his ground and activates his spiritual power, freezing the deadly storm of feathers in midair, just inches from his face. Then, with a commanding wave of his hand, he takes control of the suspended projectiles and sends them hurtling back toward Tan Waniu, whose confident expression turns to one of utter shock as her own attack is turned against her. Tan Waniu's eyes widen in shock as her devastating barrage of razor-sharp feathers suddenly halts in midair, hovering ominously around her. Before she can comprehend the situation, the suspended projectiles violently reverse direction, securely pinning the bewildered Tan Waniu against the wall. The onlookers quickly realize Lin Zichen is using his formidable spiritual power to telekinetically seize control of her attack and turn it against her. Observing the sudden reversal, Student Council President Zhou Hong stares intently at the scene. The surrounding students are stunned that a mere freshman possesses such advanced telekinetic abilities. Zhou Hong deduces that if Lin Zichen's spiritual power is this potent, his physical Kai and blood strength must be even more terrifying, potentially reaching an advanced Tier 1 or even Tier 2 level. Deciding to intervene before the situation escalates, Zhou Hong steps forward to confront the young prodigy. He acknowledges Lin Zichen's extraordinary talent, but coldly states that, as a senior, it is his duty to teach the arrogant freshman a lesson in humility. He internally resolves to crush Lin Zichen before the boy can mature into a genuine threat, warning Lin Zichen that his unchecked arrogance will eventually lead to his demise. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to Amazing Apai. Subscribing makes sure you do not miss the next video, and it gives me motivation to keep improving the quality of every upload. Thank you for being here, and I will see you in the next one.